Membrane junctions. There are three types of membrane junctions in animal cells. Um, we talked a little bit about plasmodesmata in plant cells, but we're going to do the animal cells right now because some of these are going to come up in some of our other units. So tight junction, this is almost an impermeable junction. That means it doesn't let anything through. So you've got a cell and another cell, and an impermeable junction means that nothing is going to squeeze through, like actually through like that. So it encircles the cell. This helps prevent molecules from passing through the extracellular space between adjacent cells. They line the digestive tract to keep digestive enzymes and microbes in the intestine from seeping into the bloodstream. So there are some cells where, like a white blood cell, can squeeze out in between, and then there are some that don't. So in your intestines, remember you've got your mouth and your esophagus and your stomach, and then the intestines, right? Pretend I drew that right. Here's the large intestine, and then there's where you poop. And that's a horrible drawing. Anyway, this is sort of not really in your body. I mean, it is in your body, but you can swallow a penny and have the penny. You shouldn't do that, but if it does, you can poop that out as long as it doesn't get blocked, and it's the same. So anyway, the idea here is that there's all kinds of bacteria through here, and so you want to make sure that none of those bacteria can seep out into your blood. Everything actually, remember how when we did the digestive system, we talked about nutrients going from the intestines out into your blood. They actually have to physically go through cells. So here's what the cells look like. They don't squeeze out between the cells. They actually have to get into the cell. So they go through a cell membrane, then through another cell membrane, and then into the blood vessel, which has more cell membranes. So the cell membranes can decide what goes in and out. So those are tight junctions. And they look almost like rivets, if you've ever seen welding done. A desmosome is an anchoring junction. It's scattered along the sides of cells to prevent their separation. So it's a thing that keeps them together even when something's pulling them apart. They're abundant in tissues like skin and heart muscle, which is subjected to great mechanical stress. So let's take a look at that. Lots and lots of supporting proteins to keep these two together. So you figure your heart pumps really, 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 really hard. And you want to make sure that those cells, that one cardiac muscle tissue cell and another cardiac cell, don't get ripped apart from each other when the heart contracts. And so that's what desmosomes are for. And the last one, gap junction, are maybe my favorite. This is a communicating junction between adjacent cells. So I'll show you the picture on the next page. It allows chemical substances to pass between cells, like ions, for example, um, present in electrically excitable tissues like cardiac and smooth muscle tissues where ions have to move from cell to cell. So let's take a look at that. So here's one cell, and that's the cytoplasm in there. And here's another cell, and this is the interior of the other cell. So this is the space between the cells. Look at this. If you're a sodium ion, for example, you can go right through there. So if this is a cardiac muscle cell that's excited, it can send the ions can flow straight through into the next cell. Um, and then that means that next cell can get excited. So that's how your heart muscles and your smooth muscles work. A few of your neurons even have connections like, I'd imagine connections like this that are, most nerve cells are not connected, so there's a separation, which is what we'll do in a unit coming up soon. With most of them, there's a separation, and there are chemicals called neurotransmitters that diffuse from one to the other. But there are some neurons that actually have a connection between them, just like these. So I think that's the end of my story. We'll just do a quick quiz time. Let's see, it's essential for heart muscle cells to beat in a coordinated fashion. The cell junctions that would best facilitate this are, so the ones that send neurons from one to another are called the gap junctions. It also has these anchoring junctions, but the point of them isn't to allow for this communication, this coordinated thing. Ah, that was it? Just one? All right, you're off easy on the